Monday night, Seattle. One team's World Cup ends. One team keeps dreaming. The USA hasn't been past the round of 16 since 2002. That's 24 years. That's an entire generation of American soccer fans who have never seen this team reach a quarterfinal. And standing in the way, Belgium, the same team that eliminated the USA in 2014, the same team that just beat them 5-2 in a warm-up match 3 months ago. So here's the question everyone's asking. Does the USA finally get revenge, or does history repeat itself? Let's break down exactly how each team got here, what's actually working, what's falling apart, and who has the real edge on Monday. Stick around, because the answer isn't as obvious as the odds make it look. How the USA got here. The Americans finished second in Group D. Not first, second, and that matters more than people think. They opened strong, smashing Paraguay 4-1. Then they beat Australia 2-0. Good start, real momentum. Then Turkey happened. The USA lost that final group game 3-2, which knocked them down to second place instead of first. In theory, that shouldn't matter much. A win is a win, right? In practice, finishing second changes your entire bracket. It's why the USA ended up facing Bosnia and Herzegovina instead of an easier team, and it's part of why Belgium is now standing in their way instead of some team ranked 40 spots lower. The Balogun problem. Here's where it gets interesting. The USA beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0 in the round of 32. Should be all good news. It isn't. Striker Folarin Balogun scored the game-winning goal, then got sent off with a red card in the second half. That means he's suspended. He cannot play against Belgium. Think about that for a second. The guy who scored the winner, the guy expected to lead the attack in the biggest game of the tournament, is stuck watching from the sidelines. This sounds like a minor detail. It isn't. Balogun was their most informed scorer. Losing him is like a boxer walking into the ring with one arm tied behind his back. How Belgium got here now. Let's talk about Belgium, because their path here was absolutely wild. Against Senegal in the round of 32, Belgium went down 2-0. By the 51st minute, it looked over. Done. Belgium packing their bags. Then somehow they scored twice late, in the 86th and 89th minutes, tied it up, forced extra time, and in the final minute of stoppage time, they got a penalty. Yuri Tielemans stepped up and buried it. Game over. Belgium survives. You know the type of team that does this, the kind that refuses to die, even when they look completely finished. That's either a sign of incredible mental toughness, or a sign that their defense is a disaster waiting to happen again. Possibly both. The ghosts of 2014. You can't talk about this matchup without talking about the history, because it's impossible to ignore. Back in 2014, these two teams met in the round of 16. Belgium won 2-1. USA goalkeeper Tim Howard made 16 saves that day. An absolute legendary performance, but it wasn't enough. The Americans went home. Here's the twist. 3 players from that 2014 Belgium squad are still on this current team. Goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, striker Romelu Lukaku. 12 years later, and they're still the core of this Belgian side. Meanwhile, the USA roster has 0 players left from that 2014 team. Complete roster turnover. New generation, new coach, new identity. So is this actually a rematch, or is it basically a brand new team facing Belgium's old guard? That's worth sitting with for a second. The De Bruyne factor. Let's talk about Kevin De Bruyne specifically, because his name alone makes people nervous. For a decade, he was arguably the best passer on the planet. 10 seasons at Manchester City, over 100 goals, nearly 200 assists. The guy could thread a pass through a needle from 40 yards out. But here's the catch. De Bruyne is 35 now. He barely played this season due to injury, only 21 appearances. And through 4 games at this World Cup, he has just 1 goal and 0 assists. In theory, that's a team you can attack. An aging playmaker who isn't producing. In practice, De Bruyne has hurt teams before, when everyone assumed he was finished. Counting him out completely would be a mistake. The March warm-up nobody wants to talk about. Back in March, these two teams played a friendly in Atlanta. Belgium won 5-2. It wasn't close. The USA led at halftime after a Weston McKennie goal. Then Belgium scored 3 times in the first 15 minutes of the second half and never looked back. It exposed real defensive problems for the Americans, problems that haven't fully disappeared since. This sounds like a bad omen. It kind of is. But friendlies in March don't always predict July. Rosters change. Fitness Fitness changes. Motivation changes completely once its winner go home. Still, you can bet Belgium's coaching staff has that scoreline saved on repeat. What actually decides this game? So who wins? Here's the honest breakdown. The USA has home crowd energy, a favorable seeding on paper, and a roster with no history baggage weighing them down. But they're missing their informed striker, and they just got exposed 5-2 by this exact opponent months ago. Belgium has proven big tournament experience, a spine of world-class veterans, and they just showed that they can claw back from the dead under pressure. But their defense looked shaky against Senegal, and De Bruyne isn't the player he used to be. This is genuinely close, which is exactly why it's the most watched World Cup match of the week. The bottom line: the USA hasn't reached a quarterfinal in 24 years, and Belgium has been the team standing in their way before. Monday in Seattle decides if that streak finally breaks or if history just repeats itself one more time. So here's my question for you. Does experience beat hunger, or does hunger finally win this time? Drop your prediction in the comments, and if you want more World Cup breakdowns like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because this tournament is just getting started.